The Rise of Skywalker is an answer to The Last Jedi, and unfortunately, it was the wrong answer, but doesn't mean that there isn't some good in the movie. And after watching it a few times, I feel like now is a time that I can actually give you guys my honest review, my honest feelings as to what The Rise of Skywalker did right and what The Rise of Skywalker did wrong. And do I think it's better than Last Jedi? And I think I'm going to go ahead and answer the last one first. Yes, The Rise of Skywalker is better than The Last Jedi, mainly because it is shorter, it flows better, and it is more exciting. There's more entertainment value when you look at The Rise of Skywalker as opposed to The Last Jedi, where there are a lot of portions of it that could be cut out to make it more concise. And at one point there was like a finale, and then we got to a different scene where we get a second finale where the movie just drags on, and the pacing in The Last Jedi is just horrendous. We could watch The Rise of Skywalker, or put it at least in the background, several times over because of how entertaining it is. But The Last Jedi, you really can't. So that's my first thought. It is better than The Last Jedi, but what exactly does it get right? The thing that The Rise of Skywalker does right is the action. There is a lot of it. It's really entertaining. The scenes between Rey, Poe, Finn, and C-3PO, when they are coherent, they are a lot of fun to watch. They have a lot of chemistry together, but it seems like there's been so much cut from it. There's so much cut from the movie that we get scenes where it doesn't really make sense what the hell's going on. Like, you get characters being mad at each other for no apparent reason, and you don't really know what they're talking about. There are several scenes like that between Finn and Poe, and I'm wondering, like, did they break up or something in the middle of that? Like, was that cut out? Was that too edgy for Disney? Did Disney not want that? Because that's the only thing that I can think of. That got cut out, something got cut out, and it just doesn't make sense and doesn't really flow very well. But when there is banter between all of them, or even just some of them, it's pretty damn good. It is pretty damn good. The biggest praise I can give The Rise of Skywalker is the focus on Kylo Ren and just everything that surrounds him. First of all, I was surprised how much Leia was in the film. She was like an integral character, a main character basically in the film, and I give them props for doing what they had to and using what they had to sort of craft this story in a coherent way when it came to Kylo Ren's redemption. That is the main reason, really the only reason, I praised the movie so highly, because I never wanted Kylo Ren to be redeemed. Not one time did I ever think, oh, I want Kylo Ren to be redeemed. And yet, he was redeemed. And in my opinion, my humble opinion, it was believable, and it hit an emotional chord. And I was wondering why, because I found myself, when he was confronted by the ghost or the image of Han Solo, why I was bawling like a baby in the movie theater. I think I was bawling like a baby in the movie theater because in The Force Awakens, you could see Han Solo's death coming a mile away, and when it happens, I was left empty. Like, I felt sad, but at the same time, I had no tears because I just saw it coming, and I knew it was part of Kylo Ren's growth as an evil villain. When he came back, it hit me like a sack of bricks, like a sledgehammer, that, oh shit, Han Solo is dead. He was dead this whole time, and it just kind of reminded me in a way. And the scene between them is so well acted, and they have such chemistry. And I'm a father, so I just get sucked into those father-son scenes. Like, to me, that was the best part of the movie. And then after that, we get Ben Solo, which I never thought I wanted either, and then the movie does that correctly as well. Rey, I thought she got more characterization. She was more interesting in this movie, except for the part about her being a Palpatine. I don't like the fact that she was a Palpatine. I felt like her being a nobody was great in The Last Jedi, and then they retconned it. And I like that she had lightning powers. I wish she would have used them more, but the fact that she was a Palpatine really didn't move me or anything like that. I was just like, oh, okay, so you guys are doing this now. So personally for me, that wasn't really too big of a reveal. Now let's get to what the Rise of Skywalker does wrong. Everything surrounding the story is terrible when it focuses on Palpatine. Palpatine's plot doesn't make any sense, and everything that has come out afterward, like a novelization, has just made it worse. It's like he was a clone, his son was a clone, he's not a clone. It's all these different storylines, like, I want you to kill Rey. Oh no, Rey, I want you to kill me. Oh, you are a dyad. I'm actually Emperor. Like, it's just so much back and forth. They had no idea what they were going to do with that character. It's obvious that he was tacked on. And that is, to me, the biggest insult from that movie, is that you brought back the zombie Palpatine, I guess. And he was well acted, don't get me wrong. He just weighed the movie down heavily, and I just did not like him at all, to be honest with you. Every scene that he was in, I just didn't like. At the end, it was cool to see him, fight, Ben Solo and Rey, and even do a lot of lightning. I mean, that was kind of cool, but at the end of the day, the action scenes besides that, the lightsaber fight on the Death Star, those were far better than the ending, I think. And there were a lot of other parts that were really well done too. Ultimately, the movie is just lost out at water, and the fans put it there. We have no one to blame but ourselves. We complained and bitched and whined and moaned so much and so loudly about The Last Jedi that they actually ended up cutting a good movie that was made from The Last Jedi, like a sequel to The Last Jedi, and they made this instead. That doesn't really connect anything to the prequels besides you hearing some of the Jedi's voices at the end. So ultimately, I think it's better than The Last Jedi, but it's still on the lower end of Star Wars films for me, at least for enjoyment. I can watch it more than The Last Jedi because it just flows better, it's more exciting, and there are more visual effects and blasts and pew pew, but besides that, it's not really a well put together movie at all when it comes to story. And that is where it really hurts itself the most. Especially at the end, where she's now Rey Skywalker for some reason. I was pissed off at that point. I was like, why? First of all, Rey was a nobody. Now she's a Palpatine, and then she just jumps to Skywalker. Just leave her alone. Let her be nobody. I like that. Like, why do you have to keep coloring her with past characters? That's the biggest problem with the sequel trilogy, that it just tries to connect itself so much to the original that it just loses what it is, honestly. And it's been that way since Force Awakens. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my review. The Rise of Skywalker wasn't very good, and it's one of the low-tier Star Wars movies in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This is Nerdscape signing off. Take care, guys.